you're welcome to the maiden edition of the program Weekend Review on Television Nigerian. My name is Anthony Momodu. We'll be looking at all the big stories and big comments and events that took place in the week. First of all, we'll begin with the in-house programs. We'll be looking at the big topic on the Patriot, and also we'll be looking at issues of the moment and youth today. Look at the comments of the guest, and we'll have our own guests right here to analyze whatever views that were shared, and also we'll be looking at also other issues in other sectors of our national life. Join me on this edition. It promises to be very exciting. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we start our review.
Television Nigerian, broadcast beyond boundaries.
Alright, welcome back from that short break. It's now time for me to introduce my guest. I've got the Guild of Actors, the FCT chapter. He's popularly known as Mr. Agility. He's right here, and we'll be counting on his skills and flexibility to help us review all the big stories we looked at this week.
I'm the immediate past chairman of Actors Guild of Nigeria, Abuja chapter. Although I'm the senior special advisor to the president of Actors Guild of Nigeria on international travel, and I'm still the CEO of Nollywood New York Festival and Awards.
Alright, so now you get the true picture of who he is and how he's matched up for the review today. And we'll kickstart, first of all, looking at the Patriot. They had a very interesting discourse. We looked at the banking sector. We know how important the economy is for any nation, and how key small and medium-sized business are in growing a nation. They looked at collateral kind of banking as to transactional kind of banking. And we had Mr. Francis Okumagba, who is the president of FMG, Wealth Creation Platform, give comments as regards the need for us to move from collateral kind of banking to transactional kind of banking.
Banks should shift from collateralized banking to transactional banking. Transactional banking is bringing all the parties together. We have people who have money, we have people who have ideas, we have people who have land. A banker can sit in the middle and say, you have the money, put the money in the bank. Let's hold this money in the bank as collateral to give a bank guarantee to somebody who has land. And they start building an estate. So you'll have built an estate without necessarily borrowing money from the bank. But putting the bank in the middle creates comfort for everybody. So more money will be able to come into the system to create transaction. But if you leave it without the way the banks are running now, the man who has land cannot borrow money from the bank with his land. The man who has money does not have idea. He keeps the money with the bank. The man who is a construction company is looking for how will I have comfort that this man will pay me when they finish building the house. The bank comes in the middle as a safety net.
For you, being in the Nollywood industry where we have a lot of issues and investment and entertainment involved, how key is it for us to move from collateral kind of banking?
I think that's the way forward, because you find out that so many people, especially the people with intellectual properties, can go to bank and borrow money. You have wonderful ideas you can't execute because the bank will want you to have it structured somewhere as a collateral. But the ideas you have, the things you've created, despite having a blueprint of it, saying that it will amount to so much amount of money, the bank still won't give you loans to put those things in place. I believe that it's about time we start building structures and see how we can. You find out some people who go to school, they have PhDs, they can't borrow money from the bank because we put little interest on those things. For somebody that has a PhD, as a PhD holder, you should know that he can do something. So if he plays down his certificate, he's supposed to have some money to execute whatever ideas which the bank must have looked at, and know that it will profit. It's because that's why most of we have so many graduates, lying about around. We have so many people that have wonderful ideas, but they can't execute it because the bank won't want to put their monies there. And I think that's the best way to go.
All right. He also made mention of the fact that in the time past, we had people grow in the banking industry via the fact that they brought large chunks of money into their bank because they had connections. They were not so good in transactional kind of business or offering value to the customer. How key is this if we were to move to the next level?
That's why I've said we need to change the concept, the idea of our banking system. I was talking to somebody 2 days ago. we went to an ATM to collect money. In that bank, they have like 7 ATMs, but only 2 is working. So what's the sense? It doesn't make sense. And the guy was saying that he came down from UK. He was supposed to work for one bank, and he was asking them, "You're charging for ATM cards? Why? You understand? What are the services? What is it that you give back to these your customers at the end of the day? You understand? What is it? What are the incentives that you give to these people when you charge for every bit of, okay, your gains? How do you account for them? How do you put it back into the society?" So what I'm saying is that it's about time we change our orientation, our idea of banking, so that, because what grows economy is most of these SMEs, these small, medium, enterprises. They are the ones that keeps, turn over money. If you check the people that are actually owning banks, it's people that borrows in billions and in trillions. But the small ones do turn over. Every time they are with you in the bank, they change this money, they try to, so that they can get another one. And until we get to that level, then our banking system is still what it is. That's why so many people want to go to bank, they won't want to save their money because it's just be there, they've done that.
All right, so let's go to the next flagship show on television Nigerian. We had Issues of the Moment, where we had a guest who spoke on the fact that the elongation of the APC chairman's tenure wasn't a good way to go. It had its own issues.
The elongation or the extension of the tenure of the NWC, that's the National Working Committee, by the NEC, by another 12 months after expiration. Those who are not in support are saying that only the National Convention has the power to elongate that tenure. And I think they are saying, okay, Article 30 supports that. But the NEC is now saying Article 13 gives the NEC the power to do what the National Convention can do.
For you as a Nigerian and a stakeholder, do you think the APC is treading on very dangerous grounds?
Me, I look at it from this angle. We are preaching democracy. And when it comes to that, yes, that person might be very good, but you find that still give people a level playing ground. Allow people to make their choice. If it's not good, they have another chance to make another choice. And APC as a party, and I believe that the way forward for them is to be as democratic as possible, to make everything there on the ground so that people don't feel offended. Because if I go into a contest with you and you win, why not? I can join hand and support you. But if I feel I'm cheated out, it might tell another thing.
Well,
so I think for APC and for what they have, for the democracy all of us are gearing towards, I think it's good that they put things there on the ground for everybody to take on.
All right, our guest made mention of how delicate the situation might be if a wrong decision is taken. I know recently the president did give Bola Tinubu the go-ahead to try to reconcile the members. How dicey is it when you have Onyegu not having it all his way? If for any reason he's pushed out, could that be a danger sign?
It will actually tell bad of the party. I pray and I hope that they can resolve it inside and go on. But when you're building, there are so many hitches that you have.
Okay.
I still believe that they would have allowed democracy to go on. Consensus candidates in the past, when we were using it, was because we are trying to impose people on people, and everybody knows that. You understand? Or allow a level playing ground, allow everybody to make input. You will know that actually this person has majority votes, much more than you. You understand? But when that person is pushed to be because some people feel he's being removed or he's being asked to do a particular thing, a particular job, and they don't think they are favored. You understand? They will pick their big hinges. But I believe that Tinubu, being the man he is, will try and sort. That's part of his problem, to sort out APC.
All right, we'll go to the next flagship program. We're looking at youth today, and they had a very interesting discourse looking at the roles of youth in our democracy. And looking ahead of 2019, just recently we had a not too young to run, group again trying to make their presence felt. Do you think the youths have been strategic enough to have a good shot at 2019 and upwards?
I think we started a little late. Because the truth about it is that, like I always say, whenever I go to any youth forum, they always say, let the leaders give the youth a chance. I don't buy that idea. I believe that the youth will stand up and take it. You understand? Nobody gives you anything. You take it. You understand? Okay. And until the youth start making strength towards this, knowing that nobody will give you this, that you have to take it, then you that's the best thing that will happen to the youth. Most of us, we are reluctant. We want somebody to call us from somewhere and give us so much money. We, the youth, can start with trying to do this campaign with less money, without trying to go to the villages to buy salt or rice or wrapper for people. We talk to them. Most of these people know you. It starts with us. It starts with our life. It starts with our dealings with people. When they know that, see, agility is a man of his word, with money or without money, you find out that people will listen to you because they know you. If you listen to the news, there are people, when they talk, they say, oh, this man will know him. They are not saying he's so rich. No. They say, we know him. Whatever he says, he does. This is the things that I think that the youth should start working towards and see, because they know youth now as being not steady. That if they are offered money, they can even kill their parents. So who will trust you with an electoral vote?
All right. Two other key issues that were raised in discourse was the fact that financing elections could be pretty tough, and also the fact that the older generation, like you correctly said, would not give you that and would deliberately try to frustrate the youth.
I'm of the opinion that young people who are interested to occupy position ahead 2019 should not just jump into conclusion by taking over the position of the presidency. They should start by coming out to tell their people what they can do for them and the impact they are having at the time past. By maybe occupying the office of the State Assembly, House of Rep, Senate. I think everything should start in process by jumping. If you overrush, even in the goal score, if you overrush by overconfident, you lose a goal.
Could there be a way out where there could be a turnaround?
Of course, sir. We are in a new generation, an age where you can see so many things on the media. Okay. And 95% of the people that use social media is the youth. We can do our campaign online, straight, massive. You understand? It doesn't cost as much as traveling to those places. We start talking with people, we start meeting people, we'll go online, we'll go on our social medias, and we'll blow our trumpet. And even if finally you did not win, whoever that comes there will be on his toes because they know that you have a blueprint of something. I told somebody one time, I say, what moves nations are innovations and not experience. Experience only keeps you steady. And who are the people that can take the risk of being innovative? They are the youth. The old men wouldn't want to make mistake. They will bank on experience. In 1972, they did it like this, so let's do it like that.
Do you think the not too young to run group movement, do you think it's a scam? Do you think it's tailored to favor the elites and their kids?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a wonderful blueprint. Anybody can take over that thing. If you're vibrant youth, if you know what you have a blueprint of something, I think so many people will support you. It's not a scam. Yes, some people always use some platform to do some things, but if you have wonderful people that have wonderful ideas, they can still fly on that platform.
All right, that's wrapping up the review of our flagship programs, The Patriot. We also looked at issues of the moment and youth today. It's now time for us to focus on the big stories that made the round this week. First of all, we had the issue of Mr. President acknowledging that he wasn't aware that IGF police did not relocate and stay in Benue State as directed by him. That was a very damning revelation, and most people would say if it was Trump I think the IG will be cooling his heels at home.
The truth is that there's so many things that are wrong. I was with an ambassador of the country 2 weeks back, and he was like, "You don't understand what is happening in Nigeria." I say, "How do you mean?" I say, "You're president." Sometimes some of the things we talk because of our persons go a long way to tell about ourselves and the things we do. And I don't want to see our president in that angle. And the truth about it is that if you as a president give an instruction and it wasn't carried out, then you still have to take another decision. That's the only way you can balance it. That's the only way you can keep yourself in charge. If not, it will look as if you're not. So it's up to the president on what next to do. If you give an order or an instruction and it wasn't carried out, it's either you try to give another instruction or take another decision.
All right, the next big story was the Senate calling for the state of emergency in the education sector, led by the motion led by Senator Suleiman Hunkuyi from APC Kaduna State. Most people said that was long overdue. For you, what's your take on that?
The truth about it is that I don't want to say it is politics.
That declaring of a state of emergency in the health sector.
Yes, I wouldn't want to say it's politics. The truth about it is that we know that our health sector since have not been something to write home about. People die in masses and we don't care. We only do the ones that we think that will be in to help us for the next administration. We only tackle things that we think that will help us so that we can stand in billboards and say. The truth about any government is that the first things that you need to do is to make sure that your people are healthy, give them food and give them shelter. And when these things are lacking, then who are you governing? That's when you're coming. It's not just about building road and the other ones are secondary. The first one is shelter, food, and your health. Because if you're not healthy, you're not eating, you don't know where you are. You understand? The health sector, I believe, should have been given in a big boost sense. They don't have issues now, so when they get sick, they can always go abroad to where they have a wonderful health sector. But it doesn't mean that we don't have the money, and it doesn't mean that we don't have the technical know-how. We have some of the best doctors in the whole world.
Can we say, who do we put the blame on? Do we say the federal government? Do we say the Minister of Health? Do we say our leaders? Because we had the Kaduna State governor come out to say Nigerian doctors are irresponsible. They're the only ones that will leave their duty post and embark on a strike action. And also going back to the Senator Suleiman, he said what he wanted the federal government to do was to ensure that one hospital in each of the 6 particular zones in the country should be published, and in order to get the health sector back in shape. Do you think that's the way?
I'll still tell you this. It's not as if we don't. If you Google on the internet, you find out that Nigerians are some of the best doctors in the whole world, not just Nigeria. And this thing, when they say Nigerian doctors are incompetent or irresponsible, when you don't pay somebody something that can keep him in the hospital, that will make him look after people, it's not just about caring for the people. The doctors should care for themselves too. So you pay them. When you don't pay them what they are worth and you expect them to be, they would rather go and farm than be in the hospital.
All right, we'll be calling it a wrap on this discourse. Next week we'll be looking at other issues for the want of time. This is how much we can go on this maiden edition of the program Weekend Review, looking at all the big stories making the rounds for the weekend, also reviewing our flagship programs. We looked at the Patriots, also issues of the moment, youth today, and also the big stories that have made us have something to chew for the week. My name is Anthony Momodu, saying thank you for joining me on the maiden edition of the program Weekend Review. See you next week.